right, guys. I wanted to present one more question. This question is,
Drum roll, please.
do soulmates exist? Is there a one? And if there is a one, how do I know she's the one for me?
When you do find the one.
When you do find the one that exists and she's my soulmate, how do I know? Does my soul know? Is there love at first sight? All these questions and more. No, actually, what?
Okay. I feel like you got this first.
No, of course not. There is no such thing as the soul. I mean, the movies are nice. They're fun.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, they are not realistic. But there's no such thing. God did not intend, if you think about it, out of the whole world with 7 billion people, there's going to be the one, and you're going to go and find that one. It's ridiculous.
But even in Christian culture, they kind of change it to like God has one person destined for
Like,
me,
you're my
and they just
husband or
change
my
it
wife.
from soulmate. And I do think God tells people that on a rare occasion, yeah, you're
Like,
gonna
you'll get
marry
married
this
that
one,
person.
yes. But I don't think in the norm it's a soulmate situation, because I think it takes way too much intentionality to be like to get a girl and go through the process of getting a girl, and then even sometimes getting rejected and then getting her back and stuff like that, just to be like, imagine at any one of those points where it got difficult, it's like, maybe you're not the one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe you're not the
Or
one.
let's say you're married and then it's like, wait, but what if she's not the one? You
Or what if you test drive and then it's like, dude, that wasn't that fun. Maybe you're not the one. You know what I mean? So it's that, but there's so many reasons why it just doesn't make sense. And even in Proverbs, it says, was it a worthy? I want to quote it right.
He finds a wife. What?
No. It's a word.
Are you talking about Proverbs 30? It's
31.
A woman of noble character who can find.
A woman
You
of noble
seek her out
character
like
who can
rubies.
find. That means you have to find it. It takes intentionality, and I don't think you hear these sayings a lot, especially in Christian culture, where it's like, "Oh my gosh, she's my man is just gonna come on my doorstep. I'm just waiting."
Well, also some people I think look for like I'm trying to find my other half. I even think that is weird verbiage because it's like you're almost talking about yourself like you're like half of a person trying to find
you
the
get married.
other half of a person,
Until you
and
get
then you'll be a
married.
complete person once I find my other half, and you found the other half that just fits me. It's actually like you don't want to be a half a person trying to get into a marriage. You want to be a whole person trying to find
Finding a
another
whole-
whole person, seeking after a whole person, and then you're actually going to like pursue this together, not a half and be like, you're completing me. I think even the idea of completion is not for this person.
In what points also when you're sitting there, and I've seen girls in relationship where they're just like, I just don't feel peace about like being with this guy right now. Like, I just don't know if he's the one that God has for me. And I'm just like, okay, but like, dude didn't do anything wrong. You just like got it slightly annoyed one time.
Like, you got an ick, bro.
Yeah.
You chase a golf, like a, what is it called? A ping pong ball, and you don't.
No, but it's like, what defines a soulmate, and when are you like, at what point are you questioning, like, is this a soulmate right now? Like, at what point, like, I'm like, okay, it actually, you got to take out the whole soulmate thing because it's always, you're gonna always have to decide, like, to love this person.
I also think this it's not really spoken about, but I think at the very bottom of, or behind the scenes of this whole idea is that they're really not working on themselves because they're looking from the outside in for someone out there magically. But what about themselves? Because you really attract who you are. True. And so if you really want a certain person, type of person, how they live, their lifestyle, their values, all those things, then you better have those qualities too.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
And then you're going to attract that secondly. And so if you live in the fantasy world of the one and the soulmate garbage, then you're really just not becoming the person that you should be. So you attract the right person that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you might put something on someone like out of expectation for where you actually should only put expectation on God to fulfill your desires, but you're putting all your desires onto a person to fulfill you when it's actually not this person's duty to give that. It's actually not for this person to offer security in all of these instances, where it actually should be God who is the one who you're seeking first. And so I also think if you're not prepared in singleness, I actually think singleness is not just something that is like something you have to get to, but actually something that is actually a gift. Paul actually describes
enjoy
singleness
it. Yeah.
as a gift in 1 Corinthians, I think 7. He talks about how he's like, I wish you all were like me. And it's like, what is he? He's single. So he's saying, I wish you all were like me, because it's actually a good thing, because you can have single-minded devotion towards Christ. So actually in singleness, there actually is a time to prepare yourself, and it's actually a gift because you can prepare your heart and you can actually be singly devoted, single-minded devotion to Jesus. We're actually in a relationship. I don't think you can be a single-minded devotion because you have another one
You're always
actually
thinking about
taking
the
your
other person.
attention.
Responsible for you.
I have to provide for this person. I have to take her out. I have to go do things, which is great. God made marriage. He loves it. He actually wanted a man and a woman. He wanted there to be multiplication. But there also is a time and place for that. And I think in singleness, rather than just trying to find always people, actually just work on finding and be fully devoted to Christ, but also still seeking. If your desire is, I also think there's free will involved. I think not enough people talk about
Actually, that Bible verse you're talking about the other day.
Proverbs
are God's
16
decisions.
So Proverbs 16 talks about man's heart chooses his path and God establishes his steps. So I think actually our heart, we can choose our desire. If our desire is to be married, I think God wants to give us the desires of our heart if it's in the boundaries of the Bible. And we actually gonna go and pursue that, and God will establish it. And it's our will. We have free will in who we marry. We have free will if we love God. And I think God will establish those steps if we choose to. And I think you want to do that carefully, with wisdom, with guidance. Proverbs also talks about like a city with many counselors is strong. So you actually want people outside to give
Voice, ideas.
You want biblical mentorship in your life, and that actually will fortify you.
Yep.
Yeah. And that actually, next week we'll be talking about, in the next episode, we'll be talking about dating. So even what you're going into about biblical mentorship and all that stuff in relationships, we'll actually hit on that in the next episode. But do you guys have any other points on this that you want to go to?
I do, because I think I've also seen a lot of specifically girls where you'll have the life does not start till they get a man, basically.
Yeah.
And they really don't value singleness in the slightest. It's like, actually, my life sucks until this man can come into my life right now.
Just want to be married.
I just want to be married. I want to have kids. I want to have my acreage.
I've actually seen guys like this too, though.
No, but they're out there. They're all like, I've definitely seen
I
guys
think
where it's
more
like
women for sure.
more
It's definitely
women.
more-
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
generalizing. It's more women, but I think people should value a single season for sure.
Yeah.
But they with still the all the great points he made as well. But I think people, because you talked about like being those things that you want in a spouse. But I think people, when they sit there and I think they deep down they know that they're not all those things. So I think they have this like too much of like I don't know the exact name of the perspective. Sovereignty of God, is that what it's
A little
called?
bit, yeah.
It's a little bit of too much of like I'm leaving it up to him without taking any ownership or responsibility for who I am right now. Yeah. That they're just gonna put it on
God.
Put it on God. It's on
You
God.
have my soulmate.
No, it's on God. None of my spiritual life, my physical life. They're not taking responsibility for any actions in it. Actually, they're actually just being lazy, even though they actually know. Because if they actually sat there and thought about it, it would stress them out that they don't want to look at themselves and look at the negative things that they actually are currently living like, because I think they deep down, I think they really know that that's who they're going to end up with. So
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that summarizes all our time together. So for sure it would be, there's no such thing as the one. And in fact, I think there's a lot of mistakes. If you even have this thinking that if you get into a relationship that you think that was the one, and then you break up, then what happens?
Like, what the heck?
Then you have to go for the rest of your life not married
I didn't find that one.
because the one is gone now, and they might be married. Like this is
Then you're second guessing every decision.
yes, it's not a good thinking. So remove this thinking, and then kind of like a recap of what we just said. Become that person in your singleness that you want to become, so you attract the right people. And enjoy that one-hearted devotion with God. Become that person, live that lifestyle out. And then if you're burning with passion, then get married.
Do you have any good books to recommend to them for singleness or dating.
Single, dating, engaged,
Yeah,
married.
Single, Dating,
Sacred
Engaged, Married,
Search.
and The Sacred Search by Gary Thomas. Both books I read have all this stuff in it, and we're actually got a lot of my advice on how to like go through every season of life and how to actually search someone out without just be like, because I had the desire too, so did all of us. We want to get married, but where do you go? And should I try to pursue? Dating sucks. But all these thoughts that most of us have when we're like going through these different times. So those two books, great recs.
Awesome.
Boom.
Well, you guys have a good rest of your day. Comment down below if you believe that there's soulmates and why. If you should have sex before marriage, that'll be a hot topic. And then what was our first one? Let me see here. Why should you get married in the first place or get married young? So if you guys have any of your takes, feel free to put them down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share. And you guys have a good rest of your day.